Hi everyone, it's Pearl. Thank you for tuning in, subscribing. I'm here to do my weekly updates. So today is the ending of week 1. It has been rough. I am not gonna lie. It's been sleepless nights, crazy hours. But you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world. It's something that I've waited to do for 6 months, and it's okay. I think we're just getting into the routine of things. You know, it's been a while. Bryce hasn't ever been anywhere but a hospital. I was already kind of on track with Brandon, at least getting his days and his nights to be familiar with him. And now Bryce is home. And the first 2-3 nights we struggled. It was like, But then again, you know, I'm giving meds, and my son Bryce is fed through a GJ tube. So it's a G tube plus GJ, which it's in the jejunum of the small intestine. I probably said that all wrong, but anyhow, so it's preparing the meal, getting it ready for the feed, attaching it to the tubes, plus there's a bunch of cleaning involved, and it's like really around the clock care for both of them. And they're little, and you know, they cry, they poop, they want to eat, and you know, it's been rough. But like I said, it's actually been a really good first week. You know, it's been rough, but I'm hoping that it gets better with time. I'm hoping that these kids get a schedule down, and that we get to function a little bit better. I hope I get to sleep. Anyway, you keep seeing me look across or past the camera. It's because I'm actually looking at my kid. He's only a few feet away from me. Dad has one and I have one, so we're kind of seeing how that goes. I got a minute. He's calm, so I thought I'd post about how the first week went, and actually it's gone really good. I mean, I have no complaints other than I'm tired, but that's to be expected. I have twins. I wanted to give you guys a little bit history on how it went down, how I had my twins. Well, not how I had them, but how they became to be so preterm. Like I mentioned in the previous videos, my sons were born at 25 weeks. Now the day, maybe a few days prior to me giving birth, I went to the hospital because I had told my boyfriend that I felt something come out. I felt, I'm gonna get kind of graphic, but so, hey, if you're squeamish, close your ears or don't look, I don't know. But anyway, now I felt something like trickle down my leg. So I told him, hey, I don't think this is normal. Let's go to the hospital. I went to one hospital. They transferred me to another hospital that had like a specialty NICU in case I was to go into labor. I was there for about 3 days. They did these tests. They gave me all this medicine, and they sent me home. So when they sent me home, I remember them saying that I was dilated to 3, which I shouldn't have even been dilated because I'm technically so early. So anyways, they sent me home, and the next day, you know, I went to a baby shower, was trying to, you know, and I was in a lot of pain, but I thought maybe it was kind of normal. I didn't want to make a big excuse and go back to the ER. So I kind of just like, you know, I tolerated it. And then that night I was laying in bed, and I remember I was really irritable that day. I kept fighting and, you know, complaining, and I'm in bed with my boyfriend, and all of a sudden about 2 in the morning, I woke up in this excruciating pain. It was so bad, and I told him, hey, something is not right. Like, I'm having really bad contractions, and they hurt. Like, it's not, so he got up, we started to get ready, we were getting our 13-year-old ready, and all of a sudden, you know, I told him, hey, this is something's wrong, something's really wrong, it hurts really bad, and contractions were coming every minute. So I had to call 911. 911, paramedics, ambulance get there within about, I want to say 2 minutes after my call. It was so fast. They responded so quick. Sat at my door, I was barely putting on my pajamas, and next thing you know, I'm being rushed to the ER, which the fireman was really good to me. He let me squeeze the shit out of his hand, and I mean, he was coaching me through the whole breathing. And then, you know, the paramedic was like a little young 21, 22-year-old kid. So I remember the fireman, the paramedic in the back with me. They got me hooked up to, you know, I guess blood pressure, and, you know, I don't know. But he said at one time, the fireman says, can I check you down there? I want to see how far you're dilated. And I looked at him and I was like, no. And the reason why I said no is because this little young ambulance driver. He was a kid. He was like probably the age of my son. My son is 23, and he was a young kid. I was like, no, you're not gonna like look at me down there in my most vulnerable state, right? I keep bumping into this mic. So I was like, no. But, you know, timing the contractions and everything else, and he was like, you're in full-blown labor. Like, there's no way, you know, it was crazy. So I get to the hospital. He sends me to Long Beach Memorial. Long Beach Memorial has a NICU, so specific for women and children being, you know, born prematurely or in emergency. So anyway, go to the hospital, and as I'm getting to the hospital, I make one phone call, and I was trying to get a hold of my mom. I had told her I was in pain a few hours earlier, and I was just trying to notify her that, you know, hey, I'm going to the hospital. So something is happening to me. Like, it's coming now. And I remember getting to the hospital, and there was like a team of doctors and nurses. I mean, it was like, I want to say more than 10 people. And it was actually more than 10 people, because I found out that each child had their team, and then I had a team. So when I entered into this room, they already had an anesthesiologist, a surgeon. Everybody was there, and it was like so rapid. So of course, at this point, I'm in so much pain. I have the anesthesiologist sitting behind me, talking about we got to go into surgery. We got blah, blah, blah. It was quick, and my man and my nephew hadn't even got to the hospital yet. So I'm there by myself. This most traumatic thing is how I'm in so much pain, and you know, finally the doctor's like, can I check you down there? And at this point I'm like, frick, here you go. So she's like, you're dilated to 10. We gotta take these babies out of you. Like, and I knew that something was wrong. I knew these babies were too, nope, I'm drooling. Excuse me. I was getting excited. But, you know, I knew that it was too early for these babies to be born. So, of course, now my stress level is just raised, right? Long story short, I get wheeled into the operating room. I just remember staring at a big old light. And the last words I remember, a man saying, I don't even know who the man is. I don't know if he was a doctor or a surgical I have no idea, but he was in that room. He said, blue curtain going up. Knocked out. When I woke up to this pain in my belly, just like this excruciating pain. And when I finally came into, my mother was sitting across from me. Now, my mother was really sick, battling cancer, and she just so happened to be on her way to the ER when she got my message. And mind you, this is the middle of the night. And she came right to me. And she lives about a good hour and a half away from me, but she showed up to be with me at that moment, which my mama knows me. So when I woke up and saw her there, I can see my mom in pain. I told her, Mom, I'm okay. She just wanted to make sure that I was okay. And I was. So she went to the hospital. Once the babies were born, one of my sons was 1 pound, 14 ounces. My other son was 1 pound, 9 ounces. Everything seemed okay. They were just prematurely, and within 1 week, that's when it all started. I mean, all the complications came. My son Bryce, of course, had a brain bleed, and then after the brain bleed caught 2 types of infections in his brain. He had meningitis and E. coli. I'm not going to get into the details about my son, because there's a lot of things that have happened, and so many, but know that my son is home and that we're on our way to recovery, and I'm trying to get him better, and you know, I'm taking it one day at a time. So that's kind of been my motto from the time we were in the NICU. I mean, literally, it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. They tell you that in the beginning, but it's not until you actually go through it do you realize that's really what it is. It is a very hard journey. I mean, for any mother who has ever had a child in the NICU and has had to leave their child, your mind, your heart, everything battles each other, and then you're trying to battle this postpartum, you know. As much as you want to feel that you don't have it, you kind of know you feel it. You get depressed, and the way I felt about it was like, I have so much on my plate right now, like I can't afford to break, because I still have kids that depend on me at home. I got these little babies to live for. I got a house, you know, that I have to provide for and make sure that, you know, my routine. it's being a mother. It's being an adult and not having, although at times I felt like I could break. And you know what, ladies that are in my situation, that are dealing with a child who is sick, who is disabled, who is in the hospital, who has complications, whatever it may be, it is okay to seek help. I spoke to a psychologist. I speak to a psychologist every week. It's something that has really helped me get through. And I'm not ashamed to say it, that if it wasn't for actually speaking to somebody and having all the support that I did have in the hospital, at home, I don't know that I'd be able to just be able to tell you my story and be able to make, these videos. And I felt that in the process, maybe that sharing my story and seeing me go through what I'm going through kind of will help other ladies or other families that are dealing with the same type of issues. I'm going to show you my kids. At the end of this video, you'll see a little slideshow of pictures that I've put together, kind of just showing the journey to where we were and to where I'm at now. So yeah, this really has been an eye-opener. And like I said, my oldest son is 23, and then I have a 13-year-old nephew who I raise and take care of, and now I have a set of twins that so I became a mother, I've always been a mom, but I have boys, a boy mom, and it's wonderful. It's brought in so much joy. We're moving as a unit. I have my family together, and it feels good. And although I'm tired, I'm not gonna lie, I'm so tired. But I guess that's what I wanted. That's all I've wanted. I have waited for the opportunity to mother my kids for so long, and now that it's here, I wouldn't take it back for the world. It's a lot. I literally learned how to become a nurse in 6 months, and mind you, I'm not even a good nurse. I need to give a shout out to all the nurses and doctors at Long Beach Memorial Women's and Children's Hospital. The doctors that have saved my son's life, the nurses that have put in 12 hours with my babies that have given them love, who have advocated for them when I haven't been able to be there, and that actually take the time to know and learn your child, and they had a lot of nurses. There's too many good ones to name, but I'm really glad that I got 2 primary nurses for my Bryce, that have given him so much attention and love, and have just, took care of my baby when I wasn't able to be there. So to my nurse Annette and to my nurse Galen, much love and respect. I love that you're a nurse, and I appreciate your job and what you do for these babies that you help every day. Working in the NICU, it's not easy. I know you come across far more worse cases than what my children have been through, and I know that you guys have been there, on my kids' journey too. And it felt good walking out the hospital, and you get to know your nurses on a name-to-name basis. And this is not only the nurses, but the doctors and the physical therapists and the occupational therapists and the music therapists. They see you every day, that you start to build relationships with them. And I always said it matters how good of a relationship you have with these healthcare professionals, because at the end of the day, you're leaving your baby with them. And more than anything, you want your babies to be treated well, So I always made sure that I gave these nurses my respect, and I let them know how much I appreciated them, even if it was by buying a dozen donuts and giving them some coffee. But you know what? I figured, hey, they got my babies, and that's the least I can do. It's not much, but I'd like to give them a lot of sugar just so they can be up those 12 hours and really just they need sugar. It's a hard job, and man, kudos to you in the medical profession, especially throughout this whole COVID stuff. So, like I said, me and my man couldn't be more appreciative to the really good nurses at Long Beach Memorial. So, the hospital's been good to me. But yeah, so I'm going to wrap up that first week with saying Oh, what more do you expect? Crying babies, poopy diapers, bottles, milk. Not to mention that I got these machines beeping, you know, so it's a lot. It's a lot, but you know what? It is what it is. And my babies, I love them. My Bryce and Brandon. Week 1 went down. It was all good, you know. It is all good. And look out for my next entry on my YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys next week. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe so that you can get my notifications when I drop another video. Make sure you share my page if you think I'm interesting, funny, or if you just want to talk shit. I don't really give a damn. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, check it out. And like my page. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Bye.